She sat alone at the corner table, perfectly dressed, checking her phone every 30 seconds. The restaurant buzzed with Valentine's Day couples, their laughter echoing off the walls like a cruel reminder of her solitude. Emma Chen was a billionaire CEO who could command boardrooms and negotiate million-dollar deals, but tonight she couldn't command the presence of a man who had promised to meet her at 7. It was now 8:15, and the pitying glances from the waitstaff were becoming unbearable. Then she heard a gentle voice beside her. "Your blind date didn't show up either?" She looked up to see a man in his late 30s, holding the hand of a little girl who couldn't have been more than 6. His smile was kind, understanding, without a trace of judgment. Before we continue with this incredible story, I want to invite you to join our Kindness World family. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that might change your perspective on life. Drop a like if you believe in the power of human connection, and please leave a comment telling us about a time when a stranger's kindness touched your heart. Now, let's get back to Emma's unforgettable evening. Emma managed a weak smile. "Is it that obvious?" she asked, trying to maintain some dignity despite the embarrassment burning her cheeks. The man gestured to the empty chair across from her. "Do you mind if we sit? My daughter Sophie and I were supposed to meet someone too. A potential new friend for both of us, actually. But it seems they had other plans." Emma nodded, grateful for the company and the distraction from her own humiliation. Sophie climbed into the chair, her bright pink dress a splash of innocence in Emma's world of corporate grays and blacks. "I'm David," the man said, extending his hand. "And this is my best girl, Sophie." Sophie waved shyly, then whispered something in her father's ear. David chuckled. "She wants to know if you're a princess because you're dressed so pretty." For the first time that evening, Emma laughed genuinely. "Not quite, sweetheart. But thank you. You look like a princess yourself." As they sat together, David explained that he'd been a single father for 3 years since his wife passed away from cancer. He worked 2 jobs, trying to give Sophie the life she deserved, and tonight was supposed to be a step toward building a new friendship, maybe more. But like Emma's date, his connection had ghosted him at the last minute. Emma found herself opening up in ways she never did, not even with her closest business associates. She told him about the loneliness that came with success, how she'd built an empire but somehow forgot to build a life. How her assistant had insisted she try online dating, convinced her to take this leap of faith, only to end up sitting alone on the most romantic night of the year. David listened without interruption, his eyes full of empathy. When she finished, he said something that would stay with her forever. "You know what I've learned from Sophie? Real wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in moments like these, where 2 strangers can sit together and not feel so alone." Sophie, who had been drawing on her paper placemat, suddenly pushed it toward Emma. It was a picture of 3 stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. "That's you, me, and Daddy," she explained with the certainty only a child possesses. "Because you're not alone anymore." Emma felt tears threatening to spill, something that never happened in her carefully controlled world. She reached across the table and squeezed Sophie's small hand. "Thank you, sweetheart. This is the most beautiful gift anyone's given me in a very long time." David ordered food for all of them, despite Emma's protests that she could pay. "Tonight isn't about money," he said gently. "Tonight is about 3 people who were meant to feel rejected instead choosing to feel connected." They shared pasta and stories, Sophie falling asleep against her father's shoulder as the evening grew late. When it was time to leave, Emma did something completely out of character. She wrote her personal number on a napkin and handed it to David. "I know this might sound crazy, but I'd love to see you both again. Maybe we could go to the park next weekend? I haven't been to a park in probably 20 years. David smiled, that same warm smile that had greeted her hours ago. "We'd love that. Sophie has been asking for someone to push her on the swings, and my back isn't what it used to be." They laughed together, and Emma realized this was what had been missing from her life. Not romance necessarily, but genuine human connection, the kind that doesn't come with agendas or contracts. Over the following months, Emma became a fixture in David and Sophie's life. She learned to braid hair, helped with homework, and attended every single one of Sophie's school plays. David taught her that success meant nothing if you had no one to share it with, and Sophie reminded her daily that the best things in life couldn't be bought or negotiated. Emma eventually used her resources to help David start his own business, not as charity, but as an investment in someone who had invested his time and kindness in her. She became Sophie's godmother, and the three of them created the family none of them knew they were searching for. The irony wasn't lost on Emma. She had gone to that restaurant expecting to find a romantic connection, maybe a partner to fill the void in her carefully constructed life. Instead, she found something infinitely more valuable. She found a father who showed her that strength comes in many forms, and a little girl who taught her that love doesn't ask about bank accounts or business portfolios. That Valentine's Day, when both their dates failed to show up, turned out to be the greatest gift of Emma's life. Because sometimes the universe knows exactly what we need, even when we think we know what we want. Sometimes kindness appears in the form of a gentle question from a stranger, "Your blind date didn't show up either?" And sometimes, the family you choose is worth more than anything you could ever build alone. Emma learned that the richest life isn't found in boardrooms or quarterly reports. It's found in shared laughter over pasta, in crayon drawings of stick figures holding hands, and in the quiet understanding that none of us have to face our loneliest moments alone. We just have to be brave enough to let someone in when they offer us their kindness.